Well, today is the perfect day for an arranged marriage.
Even still, Miss Helen, you're so beautiful. Thanks.
Sorry to make you wait.
I can't do this. I'm gonna say no.
Trouble Busters!
My name is Helen. Currently, I'm a 31-year-old in a pinch. Even though I owed my aunt and uncle, I still should have said no to this arranged marriage.
I thought I would keep you waiting, so I ran here as fast as I could.
I wasn't waiting.
You're a warrior of warriors, Mr. Henry.
Wait a minute. I really can't do this. That way of laughing is hard enough to hear from Melanie. I can't do this. I can't help this rejection reaction. After that, I sat there and played a silly game of trying to see what the wooden panels on the tabletop looked like. I was trying to escape from reality, and that was how this arranged marriage meeting from hell ended. What? He wants to marry me?
Yeah, that's right. You were able to fish that sun in one try.
Isn't that right? Aren't you glad that we had that meeting? Wait a minute, I don't want to.
Huh?
You told me that all I had to do was just go to the meeting.
But what are we supposed to do? Because he likes you.
And I don't think it's good to leave our niece, who is still not getting married. Isn't this perfect? That's not what we promised. I don't want to. I can't with that person. I can't. There's no point in crying. No way.
Who do you think you have to thank for being able to survive until now? Have you forgotten who raised you? In place of your parents that died?
Just this once, you should be useful to us. This was all true. All of it was true. Mr. Henry's family and my uncle were connected through business. And by becoming family officially, they wanted to deepen that relationship. And so for us to get to know each other better, I ended up having to move in with them. This was the beginning of my life, living with Henry.
Miss Helen, we're finally alone together.
Henry, what on earth are you?
I'm so sorry for getting you caught up in this, Miss Helen.
What?
I am fully aware what an ugly and unattractive person that I am.
What?
My parents have been telling me all this time that it doesn't look good in society and that I need to get married. But, you know, as you can see, this is what I'm like, so, getting married would be a dream of a dream for me. By the way, Miss Helen, you're the 20th person that I met.
I had no idea.
Helen, we're not alone together. We're lonely together.
Lonely together?
Separate bedrooms. We can be more like roommates. You're welcome to work if you'd like. You can go and mess around. You're also welcome to have a boyfriend.
No, boyfriend would be pushing it.
I wouldn't mind. I'm more than satisfied enough just to have been able to get married. Sure, this isn't what you want at all, but our living lonely together, I hope you can accept it.
I see. Just like I didn't want to lose my parents and start living with my aunt and uncle. Mr. Henry isn't here right now because this is what he wanted either. The moment I realized that, I instantly felt my uneasiness about him melt away. Is it because we're the same kind? The same feeling? I don't know about that, but either way, I started this strange life of being lonely together with Mr. Henry. I was able to see Mr. Henry as a guy with a story, and even though I didn't hate him as much, I couldn't help that I didn't like what I didn't like.
You received a notice from the neighbors that there was a creepy guy roaming around this neighborhood. Is it you?
I am not suspicious at all.
Mr. Henry, they really only see the worst in him.
Well then, Miss Ellen, please let me know what your top 3 favorite animes were this month.
This was his biggest expertise. In any free moment, Mr. Henry would want to talk about anime.
Delicious! Oh, this is why the katsudon with fried chicken and fried croquet are the best!
That's full of oil and all fried. The way that his clothes are lame. It's so lame. I don't think I'd be able to walk with him outside. In the beginning, all I could see were the things that I didn't like about Mr. Henry. I mean, I started this with the feeling of hating him, so that's a given, isn't it? However...
Look at these two. Look how wonderfully in love they are.
I knew that if it was Miss Helen, she'd be able to find the good things in Henry. Yes, Henry's my knight in shining armor, my kindness and a warrior, and my fat fighters.
That tickles, Helen.
It's so fluffy, I love it. You really did find them, didn't you?
Wait a minute.
What? What's the matter, Uncle? Are you really Helen? What? Yeah, I am. Why? You're You're lying because you were so against getting married to this guy.
Huh? Hey, Karen!
What do you mean that you were against the marriage?
No, that's... First of all, you were the one that brought this conversation forward, Mr. Harrison.
Oh, is that what's going on? What? He wants to marry me?
Yeah, that's right. You were able to fish that son in one try.
So that was a lie.
Yes, Helen said that she was drawn to Mr. Henry and...
I wasn't drawn to him. I was drawn away from him.
Miss Helen!
Sir, ma'am, I'm sorry. When I first met Mr. Henry, I did not like him at all.
She hated me.
But as the days went on, I started to see all the amazing things about Mr. Henry, and whenever I'd be coming home late from work, he would come and pick me up from the station. When I ran into him at a cafe one day, he was kindly cheering up one of the junior colleagues that made a mistake. Even after that, he was really good at cleaning and cooking, good at DIY projects, and I don't know. He had so many little weapons that were so wonderful and amazing. And more than anything, he was so kind. By the time I realized it, I'd completely fallen in love with Henry.
I take my hat off to Helen's inclusiveness.
I see. So that's what happened. No, it wasn't a lie, you see.
As you can see, the two of them are together because they feel the same way about each other, so it's fine, isn't it?
That's not the issue. What I'm finding to be a problem is the nature of you despicable people who are trying to force our children into an arranged marriage for our own prosperity.
We told you multiple times, didn't we? That the most important thing was Miss Helen's wishes.
No. So like we're saying, we also put Helen's wishes first and foremost.
If you had, then today's wedding never would have happened. What is the problem, though? In the end, Helen expected this, so...
But that's because of Henry's kindness and Miss Helen's acceptance. Just because it ended well, that doesn't mean that we can just look past your despicable intentions. Well then, what are you saying we should do? You don't need to do anything. What? We are the ones that are going to act. This is very disappointing, but as of the end of today, our relationship with you will be over. If we had gotten to this point today without the lies, I had given you priority in my business because you are my daughter-in-law's uncle.
All of the factory equipment that we've leased to you, we will be collecting all of it back.
There's a way. Yes, there is. We hate liars more than anything.
No, that's not it. Mr. Stephen, Miss Maria, this idiot.
Don't you dare call our precious daughter-in-law an idiot!
After Helen's parents passed away, we took their place and raised her.
What did you say? Well then, does that mean that you didn't even want to welcome Helen as your real daughter, and you just took her in?
No! When we first took her in, we didn't feel that way at all.
We tried to raise her as though she was our own daughter. Oh please, since the very beginning you had zero love towards me.
Helen!
Your first words to me and second words to me were always, when are you going to give back to us for raising you? You better not forget who raised you. That's all you ever said to me.
You're exaggerating. Obviously, that's not the case.
That's right. That's just what you believe. If that's just what I believe, then why don't we check the recording of my graduation?
What?
I have that date on my cell phone right now, but do you want to see it?
Is that true?
What do you mean, is that true? If you say that you didn't say it, then why don't you be more confident about it?
It's exactly as Miss Helen says. If there's nothing suspicious, then it's fine for us to look at the footage, isn't it?
Miss Helen, will you please show us if you don't mind? Sure.
Wait a minute!
What?
Do you seriously have the footage from that day?
Yeah. Are you sure that there's no mistake about it? You're so annoying. Like I said, I'm just going to show you right now.
What is this footage?
This is horrible beyond even our imagination.
That's it. There's no other option but to terminate our contract with you forever.
It's almost amazing that you can say such things to your own daughter. As long as we're going to take her in, there needed to be some kind of merit for us. Otherwise, it would be a loss.
And what we're saying is that way of thinking is what's despicable.
No way!
There's no chance that we would want to move one step further with people who would sell their own family for the sake of their own profit.
Seriously, we don't know when you might turn your necks on us either.
Wait a minute. Please, about that, wait a minute.
If you cut your contract with our company now, our company will collapse.
Well, that's none of my business.
And you're going to take Helen from us. We're at a huge loss then.
This woman, this is still what she's saying.
Please, if there's any way, we're very sorry.
You're apologizing to the wrong person! You're a grown adult, and you don't even understand that! Oh, I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry.
You need to be apologizing to Miss Helen.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. We're begging you.
We were wrong. Begging me for what?
What?
What did you do wrong?
We're begging you that if the contract with Mr. Stephen's company is terminated, then our company will collapse.
And?
And that's why the only option we have left is for you to forgive us.
Huh? For me to forgive you?
Looks like the one thing these people won't budge on is what terrible people they are.
Seriously, if anything, I'm grateful.
So, you're going to forgive us?
Obviously not. What? You won't? Even though we apologized? There's no meaning to such an apology without a shadow of sincerity in it. In the same way that Mr. Stephen is cutting all ties with you, I'm also cutting my ties with you.
You idiot! Who do you think you are?
Have you already forgotten who raised you? How are you going to get us back to us?
If you're going to cut off all ties, then you better get back all of the money that we spent on you!
That's right, you thief!
This is entirely pathetic. If you're going to play a money game to raise your daughter, then you never should have taken her in the first place. If you're going to be as much of an issue, we're going to take you to court.
Well, the only result is going to be your loss.
Oh, is that so? In that case, we have an idea as well. We are Helen's legal guardians. If you say that you're going to cut off all ties, then we're not going to accept Helen's marriage. Are you going to be okay with that?
Honey, you're a genius. If we use Helen in our defense, there should be nothing they can do about it.
This is what they call turning the ball into our court. So, what would you like to do, oh kind Mr. Stephen?
Because of you, our beloved son isn't going to be able to get married.
Ah, that's right. For humans, knowing when to give up is important. What on earth are you saying?
If you're being serious about that, then this is really bad.
Shut up! We don't have time to be thinking when we need to survive!
That's not what I meant when I said this is bad. I can't believe that I have to explain this to somebody who is more than double my age.
Their emotional maturity is low, so we have no choice.
Listen, Uncle, I'm not a child anymore. I'm a legal adult, so I can get married without your permission.
Huh?
As long as one set of parents acknowledge it, then you can easily get married. That's a lie. That's a lie you're telling to get out of this, you scammer. Well, then why don't you look it up?
You don't have to tell me. I already am. There's no way that a daughter can go and become a wife without the parents' approval.
What? What's the matter? Looks like you've gotten to the truth?
Marriage is based only on the consent of both partners. And if both parties have decided to marry, the government will accept the marriage registration as long as the involved partners agree. However, marriage certificate requires the signature of 2 witnesses in order to acknowledge the marriage.
And that must be the parents.
And the requirement for those 2 witnesses must be the father or mother of the groom and the father or mother of the bride.
There it is. And with this, Helen is a certified hostage.
However, as long as the 2 partners are above the age of 20, anybody can become a witness. Therefore,
What?
there is no requirement for the parents of the bride or groom to be selected as the witnesses.
Huh?
Of course, after the government office has received a marriage certificate, if either of the parents come to the offices and try to claim that they don't approve of the marriage, that marriage certificate will never be retracted for that reason.
No way. Does that mean that we don't have any hand to try and stop Helen? That's what that means. Submitting a marriage certificate without any approval from the parents is within the laws of marriage, so there's no problem with it. No way! Well, then what happens to us?
Means that it's game over.
No matter what you try to do, it's not gonna go well. Not for the bad guy.
All right. I'm sorry. Surrender. I surrender.
I'm sorry, please forgive us. We won't plot anything bad like this again. And we will approve of the marriage. Were you listening to anything that was just said? I don't need your approval. Not the approval of such despicable people. It's over. It's over for us.
Damn it. I worked so hard too. Why isn't that being rewarded? There is no way that a father that would use his own daughter as a tool would be respected.
I will say I am grateful to you for giving me the opportunity to meet such a wonderful man like Henry. But I'm sure there's an unimaginable hell waiting for you. Be well.
Don't ever come near Helen again. You're bad guys. You can just revel in your own unhappiness and misfortune.
Ah, Sir Stephen, Madam Maria, please forgive us.
I still really don't understand what we did that was so wrong, but I promise I'll understand someday. I'll show you.
Don't leave us!
Don't leave us! The four of us ignored my aunt and uncle, whose moral distortions couldn't be corrected, and went home. Even after that, they still didn't have a single sprout of understanding their crime, and that goes beyond being a bully. It smelled even worse than that. As for their company, the instant that Mr. Stephen cut off ties with them, they immediately collapsed. Given their age, it was difficult to find a new job, and I heard that they're now both working multiple part-time jobs to survive. On the other hand, I got married to Henry, and my happiness has only increased. He started to pay more attention to his appearance for me, and now he's perfect on the inside and out.
I'm a perfect human!
People are judged 80% by their looks. However, they can make a huge return with the remaining 20%. That can totally happen. It's a trouble buster.